the meeting to order, and we'll start with the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening and welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting of the Parma Township Planning Commission. From the get-go, I'm going to say that we are not going to address anything to do with the proposed gravel pit tonight. We have too much still coming back to us on that. Okay, first item will be the roll call. Everybody's here, I guess. Okay. Does anybody look at the minutes from the last meeting? Okay.
I'd make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Now, we need to appoint a vice chair. Or a chair.
Chair, I think you just need to acknowledge
Okay,
that Paul stepped down.
yep. Paul Zuck, the former chairman of the planning commission, has resigned. For medical reasons, I assume. And my name is Dan Merritt, and I'm the new chair of the planning commission. Okay, old business. The solar amendments. Did everybody get a chance to look at those? Okay. Sure, go right ahead.
Okay, so I don't know if everybody got a copy, I'm sure there wasn't, but there was like a one-page, paper out there, and this summarizes what the, changes are that we're proposing to look at for the solar, ordinance because of the public feedback from the previous, solar project that happened. And so we're trying to, take a look and update that ordinance with some new information. And so we spoke with the township attorney and they got us, some language, and this is what they came up with. So this is what we're reviewing for tonight.
Okay, discussion on the changes.
Question, you said?
No,
Discussion.
discussion. I look,
I just, Bobby had a concern about farmland being what, poisoned, but how does any of this address that?
the farmland being poisoned.
Poisoned
So
by
the-
solar panels.
Yeah, the environmental effects of having the solar.
And
panels.
Something
we have, solar panels on private property now. That would do the same thing as on ag land.
Yeah.
And we don't prohibit them, so where do we draw the line?
Right, so I think, in this, ordinance, the analysis of the farmland impact would cover that.
Will that cover
I think it would.
those
take a look
individual
at the-
projects on people's?
No.
Yes, plus they have to have a plan in the new ordinance, in the new, language to, address the, preservation of the prime farmland.
Right. Both said something about are in private farmland now. They're just not commercialized.
Mhm.
They're for their own individual use.
So
Right.
But they
this,
still pose the same threat.
right. Well, not really, you're not really farming in your yard,
That's
It would
not
be
in your
this-
yard on Minor Road.
but is it a large project or small?
Well, it's for their house.
Right,
And it still does the same thing.
it's, right.
Yeah, I'm not aware of this poisoning the land. Solar panel.
That's what she told me.
Yeah, there was talk about the metals and things from, that's retained in the ground from them being in it makes the farmland unfarmable.
Oh, and
So-
does anybody have a study or anything tangible to
I
submit?
don't know, but that's why we wanted to make sure that if there was something going on, we got this impact
Okay,
analysis of the impact, so that way we would know how that would impact. And I think there was some other, concerns from the public about how the drain tiles will be repaired if they were putting in those,
yes,
those things, and how it intends to preserve the agricultural.
yes,
So
that-
those were written responses.
and that is, that has been, the drain tile, repair and maintenance would be, addressed under the, drain commissioners.
And I'm trying to look in here and see, but I think this all talks about large solar systems, so I don't think that individuals' properties would be impacted by that.
But, that was, what are you talking about, the drains?
Yeah,
No, and
The
the
ordinance.
and the ordinance.
Right.
no, this ordinance is all about large.
This is all about large.
All about large.
So I was just asking if it addresses your concern. And
Wow.
apparently it doesn't, so that's all I'm asking.
The one thing that, I wasn't sure about is the prime farmland. So with the USDA classification of what constitutes prime farmland. I guess I wanted to know what everybody else's thoughts were on that.
Well-
It's on page 2.
Yeah,
Mhm.
the only question I had on that is acceptable farming methods.
I still think it's very vague.
Well, yeah, it's the federal, everything federal is very vague. But that would align it so that everybody would know what the definition is, because that's general accepted practices.
Yeah, the changes in that are in the large, where it talks about the large school, not the small.
Yeah.
Now, what's the question? I was just saying
Right, for concern.
that,
Yeah.
I don't have any problems with it.
I don't, are you looking for a motion?
No, not yet. Like I said, the only thing I could see in the second page, the definition of prime farmland is, okay, land having soil quality and growing season and moisture supply needed to produce economically sustainable high yield crops when treated and managed according to acceptable farming methods. I had a question with that adjective, acceptable. Or adverb in this case, I guess.
Whose definition of acceptable?
Yeah, what is the definition of an acceptable farming practice?
could be.
We got bid on this a long time ago with a wrong book.
And that's acceptable, that was acceptable at that time in other locations, so.
Yeah, now it's not, so. Is everybody all right
You
with
want
that
me to
definition?
define, or?
Or do you wanna,
Is this same definition?
dig a little deeper on that?
Is this same definition in our prime?
Yeah, this is definition of prime farmland. Okay. that, is everybody,
Well, it appears that was in the ordinance before, right?
well, yeah,
Because
that
only in
plus.
red, that
That-
acceptable language was there before,
Right,
and hasn't been changed.
but then again, if that is incorrect, it's overridden by the first statement.
Mhm.
Designated by the United States Department of Agriculture or other applicable government entity. Which is also very vague. But that's okay. Anything else?
And that's exactly what we have in here now.
I think the other thing,
The new verbiage was the adding the United States Department of Agriculture as a definer of private term. If not, then the one thing that we still need to address is the overlay map. And I don't think we have information on that yet, have we?
as far as,
I-
yeah, I think they didn't give us the map,
Okay,
yeah. But I think we have to decide if we want the overlay to be where the current solar project is, or if it can go other places as well.
Mhm.
That's what we're
we're flying blind until we have that in front of us. So at this point in time, I think we should table this until such time as a map is available, or we have a discussion with the attorneys about it. Now, you know, so I learned how to leave for a month. Okay, anybody have any objections to that?
What's that?
Getting the map before we go any further on this?
Well, it'd be nice to have a map inside of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Okay.
We don't wanna open blind pig.
Okay, next on old business is reviewing the expired solar moratorium. Which was adopted, last February, I think? Or 6 months. Anyway, and then before we get this done, we're gonna have to extend this another sequence. Approved February 23rd, 2022. 180 days, 6 months, okay. So in order to proceed, I would support that we have this extended another 180 days.
I make a motion to extend.
Okay?
Support.
Okay,
This is just a recommendation to.
this is a recommendation.
Right.
Yeah. That has to be. Okay, any discussion on the motion? Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Right.
Okay, the third-party consultant is. Everybody get one of these?
Yes.
This is probably the simplest one we'll do because, we don't have an. choice, this is the only one who would take us. So they must be very busy. Hmm?
You don't have this? It would've been with your packet.
I don't know, I don't know.
Now, we cannot engage an outside consultant, the only township board can. But we can recommend.
I'm sorry, what did you say there?
We cannot engage an outside consultant. We are an appointed board, not an elected board. Only an elected board can engage any outside consultant.
Thank you.
So I'd like to make a motion that we make a recommendation to the township board that they approve the third-party consultant.
I'll second it.
You know, do the all in favor?
Yeah, I'm letting
Read it.
Doug finish his verbiage on it.
Do you think this encompasses everything we need?
That's what I've been told.
Cover groundwater?
What's that now?
Do we cover groundwater?
Yep.
Okay.
It's not a hydrogeological survey. But if that's necessary, they will point that out.
We can recommend it, can we?
We can ask that of an applicant, I don't know if we can ask that of a consultant.
Okay.
Because the consultant will come back with a report,
Yeah, I just,
and they would,
I have a concern about that area, because there's many wells in that area around 55 or 60 feet deep.
right. But that's a whole different thing, yeah. Yeah, anything the consultant will study any project, the solar project, the gravel pit project, anything else. If they have another hog farm come our way, that too. And then they will make the report and send it back to us for that fee, which will be paid by the applicant.
Right, I realize.
But what you're saying, Doug, is you want us to recommend to the township board that
We have a-
certain criteria is included in the scope of services.
Yeah.
That they would review that, so we,
Yeah, they will review that.
yeah,
I'm just reading the headings here, sorry.
Yeah.
Well, and I would imagine that if they reviewed it board didn't review it and we didn't find the study acceptable, we could ask for more at that time. We're just approving this company to do, or this consultant,
Mhm.
We're not approving it, we're just suggesting.
suggesting it,
Yeah.
approving your motion.
Okay.
I just have a couple questions. I'm new, so I don't.
Okay, wait just a minute,
Oh,
please.
okay.
Okay. All set?
Yeah.
Okay, I am all in favor of the motion. Do you want to read it again?
To make a recommendation to the board that we, have a third-party consultant approved to review the materials,
Okay.
submitted by NRM.
Well, all, it would be an ongoing
Yeah.
thing, yeah.
Yeah.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion passed. New business. Jackson County Solar Conditional Use Extension. Now, this project has been approved, it's in the pipeline, and it didn't get started for a number of reasons. So that their 1 year, coming up on their 1 year to get the thing going, is not gonna be able to be met. Okay, so they want a extension, and I would assume another year to get their project going.
Is that the normal time frame for it?
I would, yeah, nothing's gonna change on the project.
Well, I know, I'm just saying, is it 1 year the normal time frame?
Yes, it is. It's the same for building a house or putting in a solar farm.
And no changes have been made to this
Nope,
use?
nope.
This is the same as what was already approved by the.
Right, the only thing we are addressing is that time extension.
Are any of the changes to the ordinance that we just approved going to affect this in any way?
No, it doesn't, because that's been through the system and has been approved by the
Okay.
township board.
We're the applicant.
Okay,
We're also asking for the approval of the final site plan, so we can, within that year, apply for building permits.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that part we'll have to table, because we just got this. Nice.
I submitted it on October 24th.
Right, but, I mean, I had access, but not everybody had access to it that time.
Okay. Well,
So, so they have to still look at it.
Okay,
I mean, I got that at home, I went all the way through it, but that doesn't affect them.
yeah.
okay, well, then. Well, I can't pass judgment on something I haven't studied. And I don't expect the planning commission to do so either.
No, I'm just one person,
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah. Now, the township board can adopt it if they so fit. Okay.
But you can decide on the extension.
Mhm. Well, we don't decide. We
Well, right, you make a
Recommend.
recommendation.
Okay. Anybody have a problem with the extension of the,
No, where's the new information that
That's the plan section.
this,
Yeah. And there's in the narrative that summarizes about it, so. Basically, we changed the equipment. We've done more engineering, so you can see where there's areas we're not using because of geotechnical, the equipment's changed a little bit, so some of the roads are shorter, the setbacks are bigger, those kinds of things.
and you turned this into the township in October, you said?
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, my name's Matt Zimmerman, I'm the attorney representing the applicant. Just
Sure.
wanted to add for the record so that everyone understood, The reason for the request for the extension, there's two reasons really. It's supply chain problems in getting the equipment, but also the primary reason is the purchaser of the power, the power purchase agreement requested that for their purposes, that it be pushed back a year. So instead of starting the project now, tearing down trees, doing construction, grading, whatever, since the purchaser doesn't need the power for another year, we thought it'd be better to wait and then not start until the end of next year instead of now, essentially, or as soon as the site plan is approved.
Okay.
So that's the primary reason.
And they did file for an amendment in November with the, Public
Public
Service
service.
Commission.
Okay. Before us is the, extension on the time frame. Is a year gonna be enough?
Yes.
Okay. Do I have a motion?
What, for extension? I move we extend.
Okay, I'll second that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion carries.
And then we're tabling the site plan.
Well, we didn't have the site plan on
Right, so
on
we're
the
tabling.
commission yet, so.
But we need to look at that before we have an open meeting.
Yeah. Before next,
Yeah.
the end of next year.
Yeah, and there is some importance, even though we've got a year, I think February is when the old one would expire. But under your ordinance, before we can start construction, we have to have site plan approved. And
Right.
so,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, public comment. Now, if you would, give us your name and rise, and then we'll.
Hi, my name is Krista. I just had a quick question. So, where it says old business on the third line, when was, that ever addressed? Is there like literature on that, or?
What's that now? The old business?
Yeah, where it says old business.
Yep.
With the sand and gravel. When, was there like a different meeting for that? It says old business. I'm just wondering when it was like addressed.
Okay, what happened there was, a third-party consultant was, I don't know if there was any board action on this at all.
No.
Was to be engaged, and in order to engage the consultant, our township attorney went looking for him. And this is who they came up with. And so now we are recommending to township board that they actually engage this consultant. And this consultant, will not only do the sand and gravel mining operation, but it will do others that need an industrial or commercial, application.
So
Does that answer your question?
at the September meeting, that's when it was discussed, the last meeting that we had.
Was everybody notified
Of what?
of that?
It was just a regular public
Of the
meeting.
Oh, is that a regular public
Yeah.
meeting?
Yeah.
Gotcha. The other question I had is why are we not, discussing the gravel?
Because we don't have the information yet.
Okay.
To discuss something with half the information is kind of like the old secret game that you pass down from downtown, you know.
So it'll be at the next meeting then?
It will be at the meeting when we won't hold a meeting on that until we get the information back from the consultant. And we don't have control of it. But that will be publicized.
Oh.
I'm sure they did.
done at a meeting of the planning commission, and then at that meeting, will also decide on a public hearing. So there's still 2 steps before, input is accepted. Okay. Any other? Okay, yes.
My name's Becky McKinney. I live on Brown Road. My husband and I have lived in the township for 35 years and the past 28 years at our current home. We love the quiet and quality of life in the area. We didn't know about the proposed gravel pit or the solar panel project until the first week of November. Since then, we've been gathering information and speaking to others in the township about the significant changes in the area. We've heard from some very unhappy township residents about the impact of each project on their enjoyment of their own property. My husband and I have knocked on more than 300 doors and left information about the proposed gravel pit. Petitions are circulating, which currently have at least 200 signatures, and more are being collected. In our conversations with voters, we've run across very few who are not concerned about this proposal. Some of those closest to the proposed pit are heartbroken to think about the impact of this mine. I've met people who are resigned to the changes and think no matter how many signatures we get, it won't make any difference, and the board and the planning commission won't listen. To discount any concerns as NIMBYism, not in my backyard, is both dismissive and minimizing. Homeowners who have spent years of time and labor and thousands of dollars to improve their properties are facing serious consequences of a mining operation. They don't know if they'll be able to drink their water, breathe the air, or tolerate the noise and traffic. Some I've spoken to don't want to take money out of someone else's pocket, but this sale literally takes money out of the pocket of every homeowner for miles around this proposed project. It simply can't be right that siting a gravel mine in an area surrounded by homes is a permissible arrangement. We're asking the board to protect the citizens living in this township from land use changes that make this township undesirable and unlivable. That cannot be a desirable legacy for anyone.
Thank you. Sir, I think he was next back here.
After.
Okay. Yeah.
Mike McKinney, her husband. I want to tell you what I'm hearing from the 150 or so people that I've talked to, most of which have signed these petitions. Of course, they're upset about the possibility of the water wells being damaged, the air quality, the traffic, the safety, the noise, what they're going to look at. But what they often express to me is a sense of betrayal. And betrayal in 2 areas. One being that their opinion isn't being asked for. I understand they can show up to meetings that they know nothing about, but their opinions aren't being asked for. And if they were, what I'm saying, it certainly wouldn't be a surprise to you, maybe it's not. But the second sense of betrayal is we have all invested our future in these places that we're living. They mean something to us. We modernize our houses, we cut down trees, we look at the sunset. We've invested our time, our energy, and we've raised our families here. And all of a sudden, possibility of being changed and gone for good is a very real thing. That's a serious sense of betrayal. And I hope that not only do you consider what's happening to the land, but what's happening to the people that live on it. I know it's not up to you to make these decisions necessarily, but I think you have a lot of power, a lot of clout in what you say.
I'm gonna put a done in that. There is one person that's been visiting houses up and down my road, Farmer Road, etc. I haven't been to your house, but I've been to several
I'm
and
sorry.
asked their opinion.
Oh, you have?
I have.
What part of Palmer Road?
Huh?
What part of Palmer Road?
Right there. Right across from this. Normally when I see people in the yard, that's when I would stop them. I didn't go and beat on their door, you know, to have them open it.
My name's Julie Clement, and I live on Brown Road, right off Meyer Road.
I usually don't go that way.
Kitty corner from the proposed site, and I've knocked on several doors. And a lot of people in Carmen Township had no clue that this was even happening.
I was just addressing his concern about, that myself as a trustee might not be concerned about people's opinion. And I'm saying that I have went out personally and talked to people.
Okay, good.
Not just sit at my house and wait for them to come to me. Cause they don't know where I live anyway,
We'll find.
some of them. Just what, the Rottweiler is very friendly, he loves people. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Hi, Gar Chapel, and, welcome to your first meeting as chair.
Thank you.
Just a couple of questions and then some brief comments. Question, because we're using the term third-party consultant. Do we know who that is?
Yeah, what's the name there?
Gleason Vanderbrink,
Gleason Vanderbrink,
Where are they at?
Grand Rapids,
Openness.
Okemos.
other things as Grand Rapids.
Oh, the,
Oh, maybe they have they have an office in, you know.
They're in, yeah,
the Iverson's office is in Okemos.
yeah, the township attorney is in,
Oh, that's right, okay.
yeah.
I'm sorry, that was Reese and.
Oh, that's right.
No, Fleece, Fleis, and Vandenbrink,
Well, you should have known her from Grand Rapids with that name.
Vandenbrink.
Thank you.
And they're
Thank you.
from Grand Rapids.
And then also in the old business from September 7th, in the notes, it references a third party. Again, just trying to understand the facts. It references that NRM will operate through a third party mining operation. Do we know who that is?
No.
No.
Okay. And then just finally, and I appreciate what you're saying, Dan, in terms of not addressing what we currently don't know. You may be aware that the Farmer Preservation Society has formed around this over the last few months since hearing of the application. And we welcome you to visit our website, Farmer Preservation, anybody on the Planning Commission or anybody period. And our intent is to educate, just to educate because that helps the most, right? On the potential full impact of the proposed project. And the position is not anti-gravel, anti-mining, it's really just to educate. And for us to understand, you know, what's available to us under Michigan statute and law in terms of full protection. And I'm not going to go into detail on that, but the point is between our Facebook group and our website and a lot of canvassing in the area and our own meetings that we've conducted, we would, and our own council that we've retained, we would enjoy engaging with the planning commission and providing, because there's so much information, you can certainly empathize with your position in terms of how much information there is to learn on this topic, that we would propose working together and just providing articles and whatever we might be able to that could potentially help the process.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, for everybody, the purpose of the planning commission is to not only look at the horizon rather than what's going on day to day, but it's also in a case of a conditional use permit where the township cannot deny the use that's legal for a legal landowner. That's called taking. And we can't, as a township, take the use of land from anybody. What we can do is regulate it, hence the conditional use regulations. Now, the planning commission's job, other than writing the ordinances and trying to see down the, get our crystal ball out and look down the roadways, is to fact find and investigate. Now, I received a packet from the Parma Preservation Society.
Yes.
Yes, okay. And I was impressed. It's very well done. Did you get one?
Yes, I did.
Yes.
Okay.
I would welcome a presentation at our next meeting from them.
Okay. Put it on the agenda.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Hi Dan, Scott Conrad, I live on Brown Road. My question is kind of regarding the planning commission. Back in December of last year, I submitted a letter of intent and a resume to be considered for a member of the planning commission. This was in December of 2021. I noticed there's some new members since that time, and I was never contacted, interviewed, or anything to be considered for a position on a planning commission. And I just wondered, what is the proper procedure? And I see there's an open seat.
Okay. The planning commission serves at the behest of the township board. And we don't rule on anything, we don't do anything, we just recommend to the township board who acts. And the township board in turn supplies us with members. We do not get the members ourselves. Okay, so,
I guess my question
If
would
you're-
be, and if you can't answer this, Tammy and Bobby, when did you submit applications or letters of interest to become a member of the planning commission?
Mine was, I believe, in January or February of this past year.
And Tammy?
I'm trying to think of the dates.
21 or 2021 or
No,
2022?
22.
Okay.
22. And it's my understanding that it's an appointed position, that's appointed directly from supervisor. So,
So it's not board like you
or
just
the
said?
board, I would say the board, I apologize, I misspoke, the board. So, I think that would be a question to get answered from the board.
Okay,
I don't know that we're the appropriate ones to answer that.
okay. 'Cause I have lived in this township, came here in 5th grade, been very active in the community. I'm a small business owner, so I felt that I brought a lot to the table in my submission and application and never got feedback on that whatsoever. And I know there were 2 other individuals at that time of December that are also local residents that submitted interest in being involved, and none of us were contacted. So,
I think there's a board meeting next week.
I'll bring it up at that point, thank you.
6 o'clock?
Anybody else? Yes, sir.
Explain it again.
Explain which again.
So, if you wanted to be on the planning commission,
Okay, go see the supervisor who is the head administrator of
Right.
the township.
right, but to be appointed, to do a vote on anything, you have to be brought in through the supervisor
Through the board.
And the board.
and the board.
Yeah, the supervisors.
Right, but you speak to the board, but you're brought in through the board. I'm just thinking,
Yeah, the board is the elected body of the township. They're everything, yeah.
okay.
Everything has to run through them. Anybody else?
Got one?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Dan, Carl Hartke.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I've got just a few quick concerns, and it's like who pays for the infrastructure, who pays for permits, who pays for, everything. I know you can't, if you go by the rules, you can't stop, but who pays for all the, cost that is gonna be incurred, roads and, electricity and, what all else, plus a lot of other questions I got, but I won't bring them up right now.
I'm not sure about the roads. Everything else that I can think of right off the top of my head is paid for by the applicant.
I think the roads are too, if there's severe damage, I believe, it's already,
That's all we have.
And the wide, if
Through
there's
your
any
state, I heard it was
widening.
gonna be a 4-lane road from I-94 to Minor Road.
Well, now you're talking about I thought you were talking about the solar project.
No.
No.
Oh, I'm
Okay,
very
okay,
sorry.
If I'm on the wrong subject, I apologize.
Okay.
But I know other people were talking about the gravel operation.
Everything on the gravel project is premature at this point.
Okay.
Nothing has been brought to the board, nothing's been decided, nothing's, you know. So to, call it any kind of done is that when it hasn't even begun yet.
Yeah, I understand that.
And this may run into next April, May, June. It's that kind of a project.
And, I was also wondering about tax abatements and, everything else.
Oh, that's way above our heads.
And another reason, it's a personal reason, if the township or the county is gonna pay for like roads and stuff, I live on the most terrible road in Parma Township in the county of Calhoun. And I've lived there 57 years. And I agree with what Kenny said over here. And nothing is done with it. My yard floods, I can show you a picture of 1,000 holes from one driveway to the other in my road. They grade it, 2 or 3 days later, a rain, and they're right back again. If you go 5 or 10 miles an hour, you might get a brain concussion. If you go 70 like a lot of them do, you won't even know that bumps are there. Period.
Yes, sir.
Chad Jacoby off of Alta Drive. The biggest question I have, and I'm pretty sure most of the new people here probably have the same thing. Whenever you schedule these meetings, how can we find out when and where they're at? Obviously, they're probably here, but
It's on the website.
I don't know the end.
Yeah, it's on the
Yes,
website.
It's on the website. And
Parma
then on the
dot
calendar.
And it's printed in a newspaper of general circulation, I think is the
That's for
verbiage.
public hearing.
That's for a public hearing.
Yeah.
But
Well-
the regular scheduled meetings are on the website,
okay.
and they're always at 6 o'clock, and they're always, is it the first?
Yeah. You have to drop down to the bottom and read it, because the information above has not been updated.
Yeah.
So all the meetings are,
Second Wednesday.
yeah. Make sure you go down.
Yeah, it's down at the bottom.
Okay.
6 o'clock.
Thank you.
And then if there's any special public hearings, and those are, publicized, Sarah, where do we usually use salesmen?
We use the salesman for our public hearings.
But they also appear on the website too.
And then do you put them on the board outside, Sarah?
Yes.
So outside on the building too. And I'm sure if you called the township office,
We have a Facebook page too. I do try and post meetings on there whenever we have special meetings.
And final, as it relates to the meeting in January, the special meeting, let's call it, January. We don't know when that is yet. Will that be open to the public?
Oh yeah, all meetings are open to the public.
Okay. I'd suggest, and we, Parma Preservation Society would be happy to arrange, whether it's the theater at Western High School or someplace that would accommodate 300 plus people.
Oh, okay.
Because that's
I'll
just-
have to get with the boss on that one.
Yeah, just under the Open Meetings Act, it's, we're all required to be able to, fit in, not under a tent outside necessarily, but into a building. So I'm just proposing that, we would help, if that's what the boss is okay with.
I'll discuss it with her.
That, we could help arrange that,
Okay.
if there's interest in that. Again, we wanna work
I
together.
don't see why there wouldn't be.
All right, thanks.
Okay, anybody else? Well, I'd like to thank you all for coming, and I'm sorry if we didn't address what you wanted to have us addressed. Hang in there, the wheels of government run exceedingly slow. Okay, how about an adjournment?